I don't see you around.
I go to the Magum.
The what?
The Magum in Las Vegas.
Oh, the MGM Hotel,
MGM.
the Mega.
The Tonight Show created legendary television when guests showed up tipsy and turned interviews into chaos. These are the most funny drunk moments on Johnny Carson. Ed McMahon appears drunk.
I guess 7 or 8 years she's been appearing with us.
About 9 years. About 9 years.
Right, yeah. Several plus several will be about 9.
You said 7 or 8.
No, I said no, I didn't say 7 or 8. I said several.
Then you said 7 or 8, and I said
Did
it's
I?
9. Yes.
9. Good, thank you.
Yeah. Okay. I love Joan. I'm the only one who went down to see Joan. Doc has never seen her. You've never seen her. I went to the Wild Animal
It's
Farm.
all right, it's all right. It's okay.
But you're upsetting me. You're
No,
upsetting me.
no, I don't upset you.
I went down, Joan, and I
know
wrote
you
it.
did. That's all right.
Don't say... No.
What?
I know her. I went down and...
Oh, I know you did.
He looks genuinely off-center, forcing Johnny to steer the exchange while keeping the audience laughing without ever fully calling Ed out. Foster Brooks as the lovable drunk.
And how beautifully he told a story in that character. Right. My character is doing everything he can to keep people from knowing that he has had too much to drink.
Overreacting.
He's not trying to act like a drunk, and my character is not trying to act
Right.
drunk. And he knows the people are laughing. He doesn't know necessarily why or particularly care. You ask him to come out and say something, and he's out there.
Right.
So that, and then while they were introducing me, I just thought of that, and I said, I believe I'll try this, and I did, and people laughed embarrassingly at me. You know, they were laughing like this and looking like they were, you know, oh my Lord. I'd hear remarks like, that man will never get another job as long as he lives. Well,
He sounds just impaired enough to be a disaster while still landing every beat with precision, making the contrast hilarious. Johnny takes a sip of Dean Martin's drink.
Is this, now let's dispel this myth once and for all.
What?
About the drinking and all the jokes and so forth. You know, everybody's made the jokes for years. I've been guilty of making the jokes, and it's, you don't drink that much, do you?
What do you mean?
It's a prop more than anything. You come on.
This ain't no prop.
Oh, come on. I know. Juice. You put juice in there, and everybody says, look at Dean, he's up there, and how can he do a show and drink that way? I've seen you in the MGM, and you sit there and all during you sip this, and it's, I'll tell you.
Carson directly plays with the old question of whether Dean's glass actually held liquor with the whole audience in on the mystery. Shelley Winters dumps her drink on Oliver Reed.
Yeah, but it's fairly sweet. I mean, the women's liberationists, if they thought about that. Shh. Quiet, woman. Women's liberationists.
After pouring the drink over Reed's head, the whole thing stops being a rowdy argument and turns into one of the funniest Tonight Show moments ever. Dean Martin appears very drunk.
How you been, Joey?
Hello? Yeah, sure. You're going to start already, huh?
No, I'm not starting.
How are you?
I'm almost through.
Good to see you.
How'd all these people get in your room?
The whole thing starts off already off balance as Dean looks loose, sounds loose, and keeps needling Johnny in that half-slurred, half-calculated way. George Gobel's Brown Shoes line.
You know, when you come on last, you're, did you ever get the feeling... Did you ever get the feeling that the world was a tuxedo and you were a pair of brown shoes? One of those days, huh? And I have a feeling it's going to get worse before it gets better.
He comes out carrying his cup looking like the least glamorous man in show business, then lands the Brown Shoes line and destroys the room. Dean Martin flicks ashes into George Gobel's drink.
You know what? We didn't even have guns on our airplane.
And that record still stands, I understand. Yeah, to this day.
To this day. I think I haven't checked the paper.
Oh, well.
I've been working all day.
Of course.
Oh, yeah, I was working.
What commercial? Were you shooting a commercial today?
Yeah,
This tiny visual gag became legendary because Gobel keeps talking completely unaware that Dean is quietly sabotaging his drink, creating a silent prank layer on top of the conversation. Dean Martin appears very drunk. Part 2.
Party.
It's his 60th birthday.
And we're all going to get in his bed and watch it.
Well, that ought to be cozy little group.
Yeah, if they aren't watching, I guess the Coats will be watching you.
Yeah.
Someone will be watching you.
Did you get Frank something special?
How did you do out here?
Fair. I had a big opening, and that's it.
Imagine him getting away with that.
That was it.
Yeah, I know. At least, you know, New York's got the finest, but we've got the sweetest.
The second half doesn't settle down at all as Dean keeps drifting, smiling, and tossing out lines with that sleepy swagger that makes the whole interview feel barely under control. The Bob Hope, Dean Martin, George Gobel episode.
You know, he does a lot of things. He's a guy that does great things, and he was celebrating... You were the MC, weren't you?
I emceed it.
And celebrating his 75th anniversary?
75th year old, 20th year in television.
It's hard to believe, isn't it? 20 years in television. That's hard to convince the producers of Turn On, I bet, huh?
The whole episode descends into wasted craziness early, then just stays there never feeling staged enough to be neat. Peter O'Toole talks, drinking too much.
And I said, what the hell is going on? I said, I didn't know whether you were putting me on. Then I thought that this horrible thing crossed my mind. I says, he's bombed out of his gourd. Now, we came to a commercial break.
Aye?
And yes, and I said...
The fun is in how O'Toole makes excess sound elegant, theatrical, and faintly ridiculous all at once, as he has that rare ability to seem both cultured and completely ungovernable. This made Carson's interviews with him feel unpredictable without collapsing.
Coming from Japan, one indeed stops at lots of places. Hawaii and all over. And it coincided, our stopping, with the cocktail hour.
Aha.
Everywhere we went, it was the cocktail hour. And one doesn't want to be discourteous.
Of course not. So all along the way, you...
So we were... That's true.
As even when he's coherent, he still sounds like a man one glass past normal civilization. He makes excess sound simultaneously elegant, theatrical, and ridiculous, showing sophisticated delivery as this rare ability to seem both cultured and ungovernable creates a fascinating paradox.
And conscious. You just told me, though, you just got off a helicopter. Where from?
Well, it was Friday the 13th.
Right.
Friday the 13th. Nasty date.
Are you superstitious about anything? Actors generally have a lot of little superstitions. Not whistling in the dressing room is one that they say is very bad luck if you're doing a stage presentation. Hat on the bed is one. Do you have any particular ones?
A few bizarre ones, yes. But Friday the 13th is
Today.
today.
The Carson interviews with him feel unpredictable without collapsing, maintaining just enough control to work.
But didn't you tell me you
It's all becoming clear.
that you flew on a helicopter today?
I was in the helicopter today, being bounced up and down by some very nice gentlemen about 3 feet from the ground, but not yesterday.
I think the end of your cigarette flew out into our couch.
Even when he's coherent, he still sounds like a man one glass past normal civilization, suggesting this is his perpetual state. O'Toole making excess sound elegant is his unique gift, as the theatrical and ridiculous qualities add a performative dimension. Being cultured and ungovernable simultaneously is a contradiction, as creating unpredictability without collapsing shows sustainable chaos. One glass past normal civilization is the perfect description of his energy. Buddy Hackett impersonates a drunk man.
Then this one is the drunk.
Okay.
The guy walks in and he says, I should have a drink. Have a drink, please. I want to have a drink for everybody. Have a drink. Bartender, have a drink. Have a drink. It'll be $63.15. I don't have no money. I don't have any money. But let's see for a minute. He takes him outside and punches him and whacks him and hits him. The guy comes back inside. Drinks through the house. None for you. When you drink, you get nasty.
Hackett's version is funnier than a lot of actual intoxicated TV moments because he exaggerates just enough without losing the human detail, as he sounds like a man trying very hard to stay upright and dignified while his body and mouth have other plans. Carson is the perfect audience for it because he clearly enjoys watching a comic take a familiar drunk routine and make it feel fresh, making it less chaotic than Dean or Ed. But pound for pound, one of the cleanest tipsy comedy turns ever done on the show. Being funnier than actual intoxicated moments shows his craft superiority as exaggerating. Just enough finds the perfect balance. Never losing human detail maintains authenticity, as he sounds like a man trying desperately to stay upright, creating visible struggle. His goal is remaining dignified while his body and mouth have other plans, showing internal conflict. Carson, being the perfect audience, validates the performance as he clearly enjoys watching, demonstrating genuine appreciation. A comic taking a familiar routine and making it feel fresh demonstrates real innovation. Being less chaotic than Dean or Ed shows his control as pound for pound. This is one of the cleanest drunk comedy turns, proving remarkable efficiency. Richard Harris's barroom story energy. This one is funny, less because Harris is obviously falling down drunk, and more because the whole appearance has that loose after-midnight bar story rhythm, as he sounds like a man who has lived 1,000 wild nights and is still enjoying the smoke coming off the memories. That makes the interview funny in a different way from Dean Martin or Ed McMahon, because Harris stays articulate while still giving off a gloriously unbuttoned energy, as fans tend to fold this kind of Harris appearance into Carson's drunk guest canon because his public image and his storytelling style were both so tied to hard-living, hard-drinking legend. It's funny less because he's obviously falling down drunk, shifting the criteria entirely, as it's more about the loose after-midnight bar story rhythm describing the atmosphere. He sounds like a man who has lived 1,000 wild nights, establishing instant credibility, as he's still enjoying the smoke coming off the memories, showing nostalgic pleasure. This makes the interview funny in a different way from Dean or Ed, providing clear contrast. Harris stays articulate, maintaining coherence while still giving off gloriously unbuttoned energy, balancing control with wildness perfectly. Fans tend to fold this into the drunk guest canon, showing how it's categorized as his public image and storytelling style were both tied to hard-living, hard-drinking legend, creating his mythology. Orson Welles' rambling appearance.
About early sexual experiences.
Yes.
And he was talking about, did that bother you when he was...
What, his first sexual experiences? Why should I care? Not only was I not born, my parents weren't even married yet. Why do I care?
One for the kid. You want to get Mr. Harris a cup of hot milk and a show?
Get back to your seat, Richard.
I must tell you something, John.
That was cruel. That was cruel.
That was cruel.
This is the kind of Carson segment people remember as funny, because it feels like a brilliant man drifting into a lecture he didn't fully plan to give, as Welles is still charming and imposing. But the pleasure of the clip is how sprawling and unhurried he feels compared with a normal talk show guest. Modern Carson roundups regularly classify this appearance as one of the show's alcohol-soaked oddities, even though it's better described as boozy feeling than cleanly documented in the way Dean Martin or Ed McMahon were making that ambiguity part of why the clip is fun, as it plays like a great storyteller, floating a few inches outside normal television gravity.
Where are the places you go mostly that you don't see me?
I had the car wash down on Santa Monica. I take my car down there and never see you, never see you in the stores, never see you in the Food King.
Late at night? Really late at night, I mean.
Is that when you come out?
Yeah, the best stuff happens in the all-night markets very late at night.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. People relate to food differently at 4 or 5 in the morning.
It feels like a brilliant man drifting into a lecture he didn't fully plan to give, describing the spontaneity as Welles remains charming and imposing, maintaining his commanding presence. The pleasure of the clip is how sprawling and unhurried he feels, creating an unusual pace compared with a normal talk show guest. Modern roundups regularly classify this as one of the show's alcohol-soaked oddities, showing the categorization, even though it's better described as boozy feeling than cleanly documented, acknowledging the ambiguity. Unlike Dean Martin or Ed McMahon, who were clearly intoxicated, this remains ambiguous, making that uncertainty part of why the clip is fun. It plays like a great storyteller floating a few inches outside normal television gravity, suggesting he transcends conventional constraints. Johnny Carson's Tonight Show became legendary for letting loose moments happen organically, whether guests were genuinely tipsy performing drunk characters or just riding that wild after-midnight energy that made anything feel possible. These segments proved that the best late-night television came from embracing chaos rather than fighting it, as Carson's genius was knowing when to steer and when to let the madness take over. From Dean Martin's swagger to Foster Brooks' impeccable timing, these moments showed that controlled unpredictability created television magic that audiences still watch decades later. Which drunk moment on Johnny Carson do you think was the funniest? Let us know in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe for more legendary Tonight Show moments.